Sigma male doesn't like confrontation, and he's more likely to solve any problems rather than worsen them, but he somehow gets mad. And in this video, we are going to discuss 10 things that may occur when a quiet and calm Sigma male gets mad. Number 1. He carefully selects his response. When the Sigma has spent the time necessary to conduct an evaluation process and cope with past events, it's time for him to face the situation head-on. If it's someone he doesn't care about or know that well irritated him, he may never contact them again, considering it unnecessary dialogue and potential. Additional conflict, on the other hand, if the relationship is important to him, he will undoubtedly want to react, having the opportunity to defend himself while also quashing any negativity and clearing the air. This is why he needs the opportunity and time to think when he responds. He wants to come from an honest, yet objective place. The Sigma is a person who is easily capable of dealing with even the most stressful and aggressive situations, and it's clear to understand why. Number 2. He controls his emotions. One of the most revealing traits of a Sigma is that he is a master of emotional control. This doesn't mean he ignores his emotions or disregards his feelings, but it does mean that he knows how to acknowledge his painful emotions. He analyzes them and changes them into something more positive and efficient. Getting mad and giving in to those feelings of anger or irritation doesn't help anyone feel good, nor does it solve the problem. The Sigma prefers to focus on the things that are genuinely important and not lead to terrible emotions like hatred that block his concentration or throw off his vision. Instead, he'll use those feelings to remind him of what he should be grateful for and use them as motivation to keep moving forward. Number 3. He lets go and moves on. The Sigma likes to live a life of calmness. He likes to dwell in a state of optimism where he can concentrate on the matters that bring him happiness, success, and fulfillment. He doesn't consider himself a victim, regardless of what life throws at him or whatever anger he may also have. He'll usually discover a way to embrace things, settle them, and move on. He focuses on what he values, dwelling as little as possible on unhappiness and misfortune, and moves on with his life quickly after resolving any problems he felt needed resolving or not in some scenarios, despite feeling irritated from time to time. The Sigma usually manages to maintain a level head and will regularly learn to let it go. Number 4. He doesn't react. Despite being capable of controlling his emotions, that doesn't mean he doesn't feel them. The distinction is that while some people will quickly react in a moment, the Sigma prefers not to. He has an incredible facial expression that has been highly practiced throughout the years. He may feel mad inwardly, but he won't just let it appear and react. He understands that by doing so, he is more likely to act irrationally or in a way that will exacerbate the situation, especially if he is dealing with another person. Because when you react, you are not thinking clearly. So instead, he remains emotionless and calm while continuing to be polite, and he'll gently dismiss himself from the discussion or circumstance as soon as possible. Number 5. He will give the cold shoulder. If however the situation is awful and somebody has got him justifiably mad, he's most likely to give out the silent treatment for a while. While extroverts are often eager to vent to others when they are angry, the introverted Sigma prefers to be alone, just as when he is anxious or depressed. He will refrain from communicating with the offender in person or online until he has had time to examine his emotions and return to a more appropriate frame of mind. This doesn't imply he won't make reconciliation with a person involved at a later date, but he needs a break from them until he feels he can pardon them or overcome whatever bad feelings were brought to the surface. Number 6. He will retreat to his secure place. Although he does not react in the moment, the Sigma will eventually do so under the proper conditions, just like many other human beings. He has to have a place to which he can retreat that makes him feel safe, relaxed, and protected. While some people prefer to ignore their emotions, the Sigma prefers to confront them in a healthy way. If he's feeling mad or offended, he'll use his safe place for a variety of reasons. Being able to retreat to this place helps him take a break or privately unleash any rage and anger, which enhances mental strength. As a critical thinker, he may rationally approach his emotional condition and crucially address how he genuinely feels without being influenced or pressured from an external source. Number 7. He will meditate or be more mindful. The Sigma is known to have an introverted and introspective personality. And this is one of the reasons that having some time on his own in a comfortable and secure place is so crucial to him. Because they are so introspective, many Sigma men like to practice meditation and mindfulness. Finding these strategies extremely helpful in stressful situations and in helping them learn how to cope with future ones. They may recenter themselves and discover the calm and fortitude to cope with the fundamental source of the stress more effectively. This also helps the Sigma to identify the factors that might rile him up and look for other methods to deal with them. Being aware of these indicates he is better prepared mentally and is less likely to become victim to his emotions. Number 8. He assesses the situation. Unlike other guys, the Sigma will not give in and succumb to his emotions right away. Instead, he prefers to deal with issues objectively by standing back and assessing what's going on. His rational logical reasoning nature means he will take some time on his own to observe the situation and behavioral patterns, to consider all angles, and even attempt to put himself in another person's shoes even if he's convinced deep down that they were wrong. The point is, you cannot know whether you are right unless you try to empathize, and as an empath that comes easily to him. Number 9. He will use work and exercise as distractions. He won't wrap himself into the fetal position and stare at the wall, yell, shout, or create a scene, but he will go silent for a while. The Sigma likes to throw himself into work and personal projects and commit himself to fitness at the best of times. But when he's mad, he's particularly likely to engage himself in those things. It's almost a form of meditation. He's living in the now, focusing all of his concentration and putting any bad energy into something positive, and that will reward him later down the line. These are methods of directing his anger which sometimes enables him to avoid potentially unfavorable or difficult interactions until he's had time to analyze how he feels and reach that all-important assessment. Number 10. He finds the humor. The Sigma doesn't carry himself too personally. After all, life is short, and he may well consider it appropriate that if you use any anger there and then with a great laugh. Finding the humor in a possessive or heated moment assists you in maintaining a balanced perspective and seeing how insignificant or ineffective some things are in the overall scheme of things. So there's no reason to be mad at all. And this all depends on the seriousness of the situation. However, the Sigma prefers to live a life free of anxiety and drama, thus, if there is some humor to be discovered, he will find it to balance out the negativity and everything will be fine. Well, that is all for the video. If you find it helpful, consider subscribing and sharing it with your friends.